Can someone just put the message in the group? Ankit, please join. Class is started, so that he join. Okay, Ankit is there. Hi everyone, good morning and welcome back in today's class. Okay, today as I discussed that we are going to be kick off on the ServiceNow perspective. That what is ServiceNow? Ankit, can you go on the mute?
That's not my sign.
Okay, maybe someone else. Where it has gone this part. Okay, let me start from this area only then. This side. Okay. So if I say or if I ask, according to you, what is ServiceNow? Ronald, let me start from your side. What is ServiceNow according to you?
ServiceNow is a
Mhm.
platform
Okay.
that allows management of your IT service management.
Okay. Surya, what do you think? What is ServiceNow?
Hello.
Yes, Surya.
Uh, like
What is ServiceNow according to you?
for me, like it's a platform in which you can deal with multiple operations and then the service provided to the customers. Like it's a one-hand tool to deal with multiple operations and then the services.
Okay. Ankit, what is Excel? MS Excel. What is that?
That's one of the application on in this MS Office suite that the people can use on their computers without having any probably internet access.
Okay. Kunal, what do you think? What is ServiceNow?
ServiceNow is a tool that gives that to handle that different types of businesses like IT, HR, some others also. Like he gave that like how to operate and how it's help you to increase your business even. That's like the process automation. You can say that there.
Okay. So now I ask same question with the three people and one different question with the other people. The only thing is that which I notice, we know what is service now, but being a consultant, if because see why I'm saying being a consultant, because my most of experience in the consulting part only. Okay, so I pick up the examples from that area only. Being a consultant, when you visit to any customer side or for any discussions and all the things will be there. Okay, we start that it is a platform, but if you ask me, ServiceNow is just a tool for me. That's all. What is mobile phone? It is just a device for me. What you can do on the mobile, that is the extended feature on the top of that. You can do call, you can make SMS, you can use WhatsApp, Gmail, install app, all the things. So in short, for all of us, ServiceNow is just a tool. Maybe today ServiceNow, tomorrow something else will become in the picture. Okay. Now the point come, as Ronald say, it is a platform where you can manage or track your records. Surya said it is a platform, it is a tool. Ankit says with respect to with the Excel that you can manage your Excel sheets or balance sheets kind of calculations you can do in the particular thing. So in short, if I say that ServiceNow is a tool, now if I come to the technical part, it is a SaaS base, SaaS, that is called the software as a service. It is a SaaS based tool. Let me open some other slide as well. Batch 4 is there, right? In the meantime, okay, I'm looking for some one more material here. Yeah, this one. Okay. Okay. So it is a SaaS base and it is a PaaS base. When I say it is a SaaS, when you are using ServiceNow as it is, that is called the SaaS base, right? And when I say the PaaS, when you are using ServiceNow as a platform as a service. Let me open those slides. Here you can go. Yes. Okay. So that is a PaaS base. Because nowadays there is a term very trending in the market that is called the custom application. If you want to build, if you want to build your own application on a platform, you will use Android. Android is an operating system, that I 100% agree. But for me, Android is just a tool on which I am building my application. So in short, what is SaaS, what is PaaS, you have to be very clear, because this question has been asked to me in the interview, that what is ServiceNow? I said ServiceNow is SaaS and PaaS based. And that person asked me how you can say it is a PaaS based tool. Then I say that you can build your own application on the top of that. Then you can call it as a platform as a service. You are not managing that platform. You are not responsible for anything in that platform. Okay. Okay. Then the question come, what ServiceNow providing to me? Okay. What ServiceNow providing to me? ServiceNow, approximately when I started my journey in 2014 or 15 near about, then ServiceNow just a ITSM tool. That is the myth in present time. ServiceNow is no longer ITSM or no longer only ticketing tool. Why I'm putting these words? Because we are the person whose bread and butter of the is ServiceNow only. If we are not clear on our terms, and believe me guys, again from consulting part I'm coming, these words should be very correct when you're talking to the customer. I was in the call with one of my customer. Okay, and one person from the ServiceNow also in that call. By mistake, I take the wrong CMDB terminologies here. I said it is a business service. Actually, it was a business application. The guy from the ServiceNow scolded me very badly in the call. He says, Atul, if you are not clear on your terms, then how you will make sure that your customer should be clear on that terms? So that is what I'm saying. Whenever you go for the customer visit, for the requirement gathering, don't say that it is a ticketing tool. No. It is more than that now. In the short, if you see here, it is little older slides. So we can say ITSM, ITOM and ITBM on the top parameters or the top products of ServiceNow. We will discuss this in detail with the complete screenshot. Okay. The one thing which is being including in the ServiceNow release is that now they're coming with the AI, machine language, DevOps, many things they're introducing at point of time in the ServiceNow area. So mainly because we all are a little bit mature in this industry as of now, we know the tool, but this is about the basic things which need to be understood from the ServiceNow perspective. Now I come to the releases part. Okay, I'm sure that many of us already working in ServiceNow for a long time, 3-4 years. Can anyone tell me, is any version has been there before SPIN as well? Anyone has any idea? Don't do the Google. I'll give you this homework. Do you think that is there any version before SPIN 2011 as well, released by ServiceNow?
Definitely there might be a beta version, something like that. When ServiceNow was not a standalone company,
Okay.
it was as a different company. I don't remember the name by heart, but there was a version released by then.
What is the version names?
I don't remember the name, to be honest.
Ronald, what do you think?
But I read somewhere that before it was named as ServiceNow, it was a different name companies, and that
it was different game. It was different game now.
I think it's based on the weather, something kind of name.
Okay, so this is a homework for everyone. Okay, do Google and find out the all versions has been released before 2011. Definitely, it was based on the versions only. It started from the 2007. Summer, winter, autumn it is a sequence they are using at that point of time. And from 2011 till 2020-21, it is already released now. Today is 11th, right? Oh, today is 13th. So there was a Now at Work was an online event has been organized by ServiceNow where multiple companies participated. So they releases the Rome versions for the customer. Now, little important point to be understand here. Why we're putting little stress here? Because when you take interview for your team, for any of the candidate, you can ask the question on this area. I started my journey near about this area, Fuji. Eureka was there when I actual entered, but that was just an end user. Here I get the actual feel of service. Now, what is the common common findings you will be able to find in these names or in the years part? Can you draw some kind of a trend in this by seeing this 8 or 9 values?
Mostly
The
it's
names are like an alphabetical order.
Okay, names are alphabetically order. Okay, second point.
quarterly release happens in the service now. It's from last, if you see like after 17 something,
Mhm.
quarterly release happens for the versions.
Sorry, I did not get you. After 17, you are saying 18 is there, right?
No, I'm saying
Okay,
Atul,
sequencing. Okay, got your point. Okay, what
quarterly
else?
happens quarterly.
Correct. Yes. Okay. What else? I'll pick up few points in this discussion. Ankit, what do you think?
Probably now they've shifted to half yearly, and they don't want the clients to run on the previous version. They have to go, or they have to buy in, or they have to go for the
No.
newer.
You have to tell me some trend from this screenshots or this slide only. Some trend from this one. Try to identify some commonalities in all these things.
Probably what Ramana said, that half yearly upgrades or quarterly
Okay,
upgrades.
one point has been done, half year has been done. Someone says alphabetically order. I'm 100% agree. What else?
Cities, names of cities.
Correct. What else?
They might be ending the cities or probably shifting to bigger probably countries afterwards.
Correct. Okay. Why these things are important to be understand here? Because when we do the comparison, okay, when we do the comparison, because the thing is that if you are a consultant, till at least for the next 1 or 2 classes, we are mainly on the consulting area. Once we go for the little bit development part, then we'll discuss on the development stuff as well. When you go for the consulting and your customer says, okay, Ronald and Ankit, give me the comparison of ServiceNow versus XYZ tool. How you do the comparison in that area. So in that time, these things help you. You can tell your customer that, boss, if you buy ServiceNow, you will get updates, release versions after 6 months regularly. So nothing to be worried that maybe you have some query here, you have some demand here. This can be filled in the next release as well. That is the number one point. Second point is that when you upgrade their versions, ServiceNow support you as well in that upgrades as well. Guys, these are the upgrades, not the update. Okay, there's a slide I have put. There's a two words has been used, upgrade and update. Upgrade means you are changing the family of service now. These are the family, London, Madrid, New York, Orlando. These are the family. Rome is there. After that, they have Washington is there. Then they have, I guess, one more country. They release till I guess till X or Y. The release is everything. The name has been released because this is a little older slide. Okay. So upgrade means when you are moving from one family to the another family. Like when a girl get married, her last name has been changed. She's upgrading her family. And update means when she become mother, when she become chachi, when she become mommy, that is only in the family this is happening. So this is again the question which I generally ask in my interview to the person that, okay, tell me that what is the upgrade and the updates here. Okay, till 2011 they are doing the weather basis upgrades. After 2011, 12, 13 approximately, they are the irregular in the releases. But ServiceNow try that every year I release at least one version. If you see 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, they are regular in their releases. But after this, they make a benchmark. Every 6 months, I am releasing everything for you, something new for you. In the room, they release a lot of new things. They introduce the AI and ATF on the very bigger level. Many things they introduce. So I already created a video on the same as well. So you can go and check for the same. That is the history part on these things. Now I come to this licensing part. Okay, before I start, yes, any question?
Yeah, one question.
Yes,
When you said that they upgrade, right? That all customers get an option. It's a free of charge upgrade, correct?
Yes, it is a free of cost.
Okay. And does it like sort of auto update?
No. Okay.
Or,
Okay. Very good question. I'm coming to that point. Okay. ServiceNow says that, okay, boss, you are on the Cubic release, or let's say you are on the Paris release. Okay. Now you have to move to the row.
Hmm.
Okay, because when the next version will come in I guess March 2020, they are coming with the new version. When this new version will come, I will not support on the Paris, or I will charge for the support part.
Okay.
Okay. Now the question comes that if my customer is not happy to move or not happy to upgrade, then what will happen?
Hmm.
Then ServiceNow, what ServiceNow do basically? ServiceNow push you forcefully. Okay.
Okay.
And take you on the latest release. Number one point. Okay. Second point, what I'm coming from the operation perspective now. Second point is that if you want to do any changes in the production system, which record you need? If you want to do any changes in the production system, what you need? Incident, change, problem, request, or knowledge?
Change.
Correct. Change. If you are not moving from version Cubic or version Paris to the latest version, I will force you. I'll do the upgrade forcefully, and I will create a change in your bucket and mark as the unauthorized for you, so that you should know that you did not follow my practice, and now I'm moving to the next version for you. So that is the way that you are saying the auto upgrade. Auto upgrade is there, but to do the auto upgrade, they have a change record in the picture. Okay. Maybe in the demo instance, you can check if I get something, I'll show that there's the unauthorized changes are there, which has been marked by the ServiceNow because you're not moving to the next version.
Okay.
That is the way to do. But as per my experience from the last 6 to 7 years, all the customer basically nobody want to go on the latest immediately. They are almost a one behind only. Okay.
Right. Correct.
The customer who hold very good market, they want to go for the latest version every time. Okay. So what company says, if Rome is there, I'm happy to work on the Paris. If they go to the Rome to the next version, I'm happy to go on the Cubic, or I can move to the Rome as well. Forcefully, very less I see the changes here. Otherwise, ServiceNow say, boss, you use your version. I'm not supporting you. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
Basically,
that is the way.
Is the rules kind of a tool? I think remember, I'm not sure 100%, but this is the N-2 is the support given by the ServiceNow.
Exactly right. N-2 is the there. I supported one of my customer who are I guess on the London only, not London or Kingston, and we are on the New York that time. So N-3 also there, because when I talk to my customer, he say, boss, I'm not worried. ServiceNow is not supporting, don't worry, let me work on the same only. Then we push him from the Kingston to the Medi directly. So there are the cases as well. Okay, but all these things which we discussed just now is totally depend between you and the ServiceNow sales team. That is very much clear. I want to put a disclaimer here. This means the discussion which we are doing on the ServiceNow perspective. There's nothing like on the sales pitch. I'm not selling ServiceNow to you or your customer. Neither I'm promoting ServiceNow to anyone. I'm just putting the knowledge in the community. I got this feedback from one of the person who is very good in the technical part, and he says that Atul, please put the disclaimer in your training so that nobody can sue you for the promoting or demotivating some other tools as well. Okay. Now I come to the next part. Any question in this area so that we can move to the next one?
I have a question in the last slide.
Yes, please.
We had discussed some SaaS and
right.
like past things. Like, okay, so my question is like, what if the integration happened with the ServiceNow? Like, we have integrated one of the application with the ServiceNow. In which section we consider as a SaaS, or
mainly we go for the SaaS, because ServiceNow giving you the out of the functionality to do the integrations as well. You can do Slack integration out of the box. You can do the Teams integration out of the box. So nothing new you are building on the top of that.
Okay. No, it's a kind of a complete application. Suppose one of that, like any company was there, XYZ. Okay. They have their own application. That is an individual application running in the market. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. But customer wanted the same application using through the
then
service.
it is a PaaS. Then it is a using, or they want to build the same in the ServiceNow.
Yeah. They first build and the customer used.
Then it will be PaaS one, because you are building the custom application for them.
Okay. So we consider it as a plugin kind of thing. Correct.
Right. We will. Okay. Now I come to this very important point because, and again, I put an again disclaimer here. This discussion will be totally on the experience part. If you want to go a deep dive on the licensing part, costing part, the best is that you, your company and the ServiceNow sales team should be discussed in this area, and these kind of agreements are totally confidential. From my experience, I never find a document which can tell me that how much ServiceNow charge for the ITL license, how much ServiceNow charge for the approval license. It is totally a confidential deal between the sales team and the your company. But for us on the Mota side, we will discuss only three major rules here. Number one, a non-licensed user. You are a member of Amazon. Okay. Maybe Prime, maybe not. Let's take a not Prime. Okay. Do you pay anything for using the Amazon, even though you don't have an Amazon membership?
Non-Prime we don't pay. Prime we
Okay.
pay, right?
Definitely Prime we pay because you get some little more benefits, but still you cannot see any one other order number. Can you see?
That's not possible. No.
Ankit places order from Amazon. Atul places order from Amazon. Even though Ankit is a Prime member, can Ankit see my order details? No.
Unless
What?
shared, not.
Yes, unless shared or unless you have a role in that tool from the backend so that you can check my records. Right? In our industry, if you are working, you can see your own payslip on the portal. Can you see any other payslip? Definitely no. But HR can see anyone. Your manager can see a limited details of yours, right? So it means this is the first type of user who is able to use ServiceNow via service portal only. He can raise the request, he can raise the incident, he can check his order tracking number, he can place incident, he can raise incident, he can use the knowledge articles, and he can utilize the things at his end, but he cannot do any kind of a modification in any of the incident, any of the order number. And these are called the non-licensed user. These are the end user as perspective of the ServiceNow or from the market perspective. Like in your company, suppose Surya or Kunal join a new company. His manager say, okay, go and raise a request for the laptop from this portal. They can just go open the, they can go and open the portal. They can request for the laptop. They cannot do anything else. They can see how to configure the email. Fine. They can raise the incident, but they cannot work on any of the records. So these are the first type of user in ServiceNow, that is called the end user. Because if you are providing services to any of the customer, he says, boss, my end user should be able to raise a request. It means he wants that his end user should be able to raise a request from the portal or via email or via some other means, but they should be able to do their work as they required. Clear? So this is the first type of user we consider into the ServiceNow, that is called the end user. Okay. Second type of user we called as the approver. Ronald in the company, Ronald joined a new company. His manager says, okay, Ronald, go and raise a request for the laptop. Ronald open the portal. He raise a request for the laptop. That request go to his manager for the two purpose. Number one, to verify is this laptop, the request which has been raised by Ronald, is correct or not. Second, to verify is this person who raising this request is actually belong to his team or not. Here we come with a term called the approver license, and it is a paid license here. It is a paid license here. Okay. If you want to approve a bike for your kid, you should be a father first, right? So that is the concept here. Until unless you cannot approve, this is the licensed version. That is the number 1 point. So deal happen on the approval license. Like if I go for the consulting, I ask, okay, tell me how many users who need a approval license. He says 15 users or 20 users. Okay. If it is a very small company for you whom you are implementing, They says, Atul, just give me 2 approval license. I'll manage everything via 2 only. Okay, so that is the another type of user called the approver license or the approver role. Important point here, we are using the term license in ServiceNow. In when we see this ServiceNow front end, in ServiceNow we call them as a role. If I give a role to Ankit as a approver, ServiceNow will charge that amount from me. Either Ankit approving it or not approving it, Ankit using it or not using it, but ServiceNow will charge that amount from my side. Okay, that is the thing you have to be take care. Till this 2 point, any doubt, so that I can proceed to the next one?
No doubt.
Okay, good. The last one. This is the basic role in ServiceNow, and that is called the ITIL role. Okay, why ITIL role, or what is the purpose of the ITIL role? Basically, this is the role which help a user to do the work on the incident, change, problem, knowledge, request, any kind of these 5 or 7 modules he or she can utilize. I give you the example, then it will be clear. You call to the customer care of Amazon or XYZ shopping site, or the okay. You say, I place an order, but it did not deliver till now. I want to know the reason. That person says, okay, Mr. XYZ, give me your details. Let me check and update you. Sir, please take this ticket number for the next time call purpose. Done. Now that lady open that incident, see the details. Okay, Mr. Ankit place an order on this date to this date. This order has been stuck there. She will check to the delivery team. Get update in the ticket, call back to Ankit. Ankit, sir, your order has been will delivered in next 2 hours. Sorry for inconvenience. Now the point is that, is Ankit able to do the modification in the incidents, or maybe he can write something on the incident? Until unless that I'm very frustrated, your order is not, my order is not delivered, all these things. But Ankit cannot reach out to the delivery team. Ankit cannot go and update into the incident. This task has been taken care by the user, which we called as a ITIL in ServiceNow. Okay, this is again a licensed. This is a paid license actually. If I am an ITIL user, I can update, modify, update, modify, create, insert records in incident, change, problem, request, knowledge management, and move the tickets from one state to the another state. This is the basics of the ServiceNow. Again, from the consulting perspective, if you go to the customer side, you should ask the first question. How many users are there from the support perspective, or how many ITIL users you are be there? Customer says, boss, sorry, मुझे नहीं पता ITIL क्या होता है, मुझे बताओ. सर, ITIL वो होता है जो आपके टिकट्स पे काम करेगा. अच्छा, वो मेरे 50 इंजीनियर हैं. ओके, I need 50 लाइसेंस. ओके, 50 तो ये हो गए. सर, अप्रूवल कितने होंगे? 5 अप्रूवल. चलो 55, और एडमिन 1 एडमिन. चलो टोटल 51 लाइसेंस आर रिक्वायर्ड फॉर मी. Okay, so by these manner you go and talk to the customer that okay, these are the roles required, minimum roles. See, when you go for the ITSM implementation, minimum role ITIL approvers are the minimum role which every customer need. There's a lot of roles available. I'll give you this homework as well, maybe not today, tomorrow when we go, or maybe the Friday class, not tomorrow, Friday class. I'll give you the homework. You need to be read those rules, what that role do actually in the ServiceNow. Okay, till this point, any doubt, any question? Anyone?
No.
Okay, good.
Atul,
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Like for this approve and denial license, like it will be used by the managers and then like some higher officials, right?
I will not say that it is be used by manager. It is to the person to whom you are assigning. Maybe in your company, I am assigning to you, but you are not a manager.
Okay.
It totally depend on the needs. Generally, it's go for the manager only, but it depends that who need to be approve that particular request.
Yeah, like, is there any possibility that a single person can do this role and then this modification, like the top level?
Yes,
role?
yes, 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 yes,
So,
yes.
like, they need to buy 2 separate licenses for the same person.
I need. I'm not 100% sure, but I need to be check on that. But as per my experience, if you have a approval rule, then you can do the modifications as well.
Yeah, like exactly, that's what my doubt. Like, if the approval
Okay.
rule is assigned to a person, can he do the modification as well or not?
Let's do a test on that part. Take this query here. Okay, when we go for the role assignment now, I'll give you one exercise on the top on this. Then we'll see that how this be working. As per my experience says, approver can do the modification as well. Okay. And one more thing. These are the questions actually asked by your customer in the consulting role. One of my customers says that Atul, I'm using the ITSM as well. I'm using CSM as well. I said, good. Then why you are charging the 2 roles to me? Because CSM says if you have a CSM license, you can do the ITSM work as well. I said, let me check. So these things we need to be checked very carefully in this area. Okay. Now I come to the very favorite area of my side. That is called the ServiceNow architecture. Till this point, I'm sure that you already have a lot of experience in the IT industry, and 1 or 2 people are here in the call who are more than experienced, having the experience more than me. Okay, what we do generally mistake, if anyone teaches any tool, we start using the tool as it is, without doing the deep dive in that tool, that how this tool has been designed internally. Even though I know that is not my cup of tea, और neither it's my interest area, but बड़े बड़े clients के साथ ये चीजें डिस्कस होती हैं. And you will not believe that this architecture is one of the quick win for you from the customer perspective. ये ऐसा पॉइंट है जो आप कस्टमर को बोलोगे बॉस तुम भी यूज लेट्स टेक एग्जांपल अंकित रोनाल्ड एंड सूर्या आर यूजिंग द सर्विस नाउ. एजम्पशन क्या है माइंड में अभी, इफ सर्विस नाउ अगर अंकित का इंस्टेंस डाउन हो जाता है तो सूर्या और रोनाल्ड का भी इंस्टेंस डाउन हो जाएगा. दैट इज द एजम्पशन, दैट इज द एजम्पशन, बट दैट इज द रॉन्ग एजम्पशन. That is the reason when we talk from the consulting perspective, we should be very clear on our routes. ServiceNow says boss आप 100 कस्टमर्स हो, आप 200 कस्टमर हो, अगर X कस्टमर का सिस्टम डाउन होता है तो उसका आपके ऊपर कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा until unless मेरा डाटा सेंटर डाउन होता है तब तक. In the coming slide I will show you the data center of ServiceNow as well. So ServiceNow says that I am using the multi-instance architecture. What this mean basically, आपको अपना एक स्पेस मिलेगा ServiceNow के इंफ्रा के ऊपर. ये रोनाल्ड, कुणाल, अंकित, इन तीनों के बीच में कुछ भी कॉमन नहीं है सिवाय ServiceNow का डाटा स्ट्रक्चर, सॉरी ServiceNow का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. इनके ऐप नोड्स अलग अलग हैं, इसके ऐप नोड्स अलग अलग हैं, इसके ऐप नोड्स अलग अलग हैं, इसका डाटाबेस अलग है, इसका डाटाबेस अलग है, इसका डाटाबेस अलग है. So in short, अगर ये डाउन होता है, then there is no impact on these 2 instances. That is the first quick win for you from the consulting perspective. Again, you will definitely say Atul again and again the consulting part, because the thing is that these things I learned from the experience. You will surprise, a customer asked me a call was open, a first call. He says, Atul, can you tell me the ServiceNow data centers where it has been located? And that was approximately 3 or 4 years back when I was just beginning in the consulting area. I was keep quiet for 10 minutes. He raised the escalation to my manager that your consultant is not good. He don't know about the basics of the ServiceNow, how he will do the consulting part. So these things I learned from the experience part. So always remember that it is a multi-instance where 1, 2, 3 has no relationship. At last, they have shared the common hardware. That is the number 1 point. Second point, and also if you go for the consulting to the customer side, never start from the ITSM. सर इंसिडेंट ले लो, सर चेंज ले लो, सर प्रॉब्लम ले लो, नहीं, वो तो ले ही लेगा, उसको लेना ही, वो तो मुझे पता है वो नहीं लेगा। अगर आपको उसको वैल्यू एडिशन देना है, so these are the value addition points for you. Tell them that boss, I know this much my tool. Now tell me, are you okay with this instance or not? Second point, ServiceNow data center. Let me do little enlarge. ServiceNow data centers. Total 11 data centers and 10 supporting centers are there. They bifurcate Asia, Australia, Europe, North America, and South America. Again, after this thing happened, this what I can say, BritSex, right? These countries, UK countries, are not allowed to put their data outside the UK, right? One of my customers delayed the go live, and it is a practical experience. One of my customers delayed the go live for the 2 months because he wants that his instance should be moved to the UK region only. Sorry, Germany region only. He is using his instance was earlier in other data center. He's from the Germany side. He says, boss, move my instance to the Germany region only, then I will go for the live. Otherwise, I'll not go live. Who will able to answer this part? You and me as a consultant. We should know that how this mapping has been done. So now you can see for every data center, they have a backup data center. And that is again a quick point for us to win the deal. That why a customer should go for the ServiceNow. ServiceNow, it's a primary is the read and write. You can update and delete. Second is only read only. They're moving the data from one to the another instance for the recording purpose. That is the second point. Clear till this 2 slide? Any doubt, any question, anyone?
One scenario doubt, as you
Yes,
told that your probably client asked to move to Europe region from UK.
Right.
Then in that case, who to start with to get that support?
Okay.
Do we have to raise a higher ticket for it, or the pre-sales guys will do that?
You have to be go to the high ticket and then need to be connected with the sales team. But it is a learning which we got from that project is that these should be added in the contract agreements very clearly. The reason is that when we go for the consulting or our sales or pre-sales team go for the consulting, they did not discuss much on these areas. They says, हाँ मिल जाएगा आपको ServiceNow, सर इतने सस्ते में हो जाएगा, इतने में हो जाएगा आपका. Because customer think or assume, अच्छा हो जाएगा ना तो मतलब data center भी जर्मनी में होगा. When the discussion started, then this point come into the picture. So that was a learning which we put into our lesson learned is that whenever we're going for a new agreement, on the day one, tell the customer about the architecture and the data centers. If he's okay, then we proceed further. If he's not okay, then we'll see that what else we can do here. I have a customer to whom I'm interacting nowadays. He says, Atul, he's from India itself only. He says, I will use ServiceNow if you assure me that my data will not go outside India. Now what I should say, because in India, I have just a supporting data center, not the main data center. I have no solution here. For this, I need to be include my ServiceNow sales team or the technical team. That was tell me, customer want to use ServiceNow, but I am bind due to his requirement because data center ही नहीं है इंडिया में, प्राइमरी नहीं है, सेकेंडरी है. देखो ये रहा, प्राइमरी तो यहाँ पर आएगा, कहीं पीछे से आएगा, इस साइड से कहीं एशिया से निकाल के देंगे वो यहाँ, तो वो चीज है. Okay. Any other point till this slides?
Along with the mentioned like ITIL roles or probably licenses, do we have to stock some other licenses as well? Probably अगर count of number of employees बढ़ते हैं तो this has to be discussed while the SOW or can be incrementally.
Ankit, I will come on that point. Okay, give me just some time. I'll come on that point.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, last slide for today's, and then we'll be. I'll take Ankit your point. Okay. Now the thing is that how the failover and transfer will work. Okay. Before that, let me ask this question, Ronald. I'm sure that you are using ServiceNow 5 or 6 years now, right?
Yeah.
Approximately. What do you say? Do you any idea about this failover or transfer, or the first time you are seeing this?
No, first time I'm seeing this.
That is the point. I'm not, don't take it otherwise, but that is the things that we start using tool immediately. अच्छा मुझे इंसिडेंट हो गया, चेंज हो गया, समझ में आ गया, I'm good in service now, but these things again required, and this is called the AHA, Advanced High Availability Architecture. I'll share the complete document for this as well. I have a document I'll share with you. Okay, what ServiceNow says, in case my one data center go down, how quick I will move to the data center 2, and how these are be related here. And they call this term as an advanced high availability. Again, another quick point for the beginning of the deal. These should be part of your RFP somewhere, that we have 2 data centers. I see my experience in one of my company. They says we have a DR side. I said, okay. In a year, they do only once DR activity just to see that everything is working fine or not. One day, my infra was completely down. It took my infra team 2 days to go to the DR site. Now, what is the purpose of the DR actually in the picture? We are charging heavily from the customer on the DR side, but we are actually just using for the sake of. But this is not applicable in the ServiceNow side. This is you sitting here, and this is your primary data center. So now you can see the relationship. This node connected database to this node, and these things, and continuously syncing are going there. Data and backup, database and backup. For every database, they have a backup, and the syncing is going on in the parallel manner. So that again, my experience says in the 7 years, I never see a 0-minute downtime of ServiceNow. At least from the ServiceNow side, never. My customer infra goes down, that fine. But I never see a single minute downtime from the ServiceNow side. Neither a planned, neither an unplanned part. On PDI, it is be applicable, but on production part, I never see that things. Okay, so this is the way that they are doing the transfer and the failover part. Less than 2 minutes. So now you can see. Can you imagine less than 2 minutes? They are moving your data, or they are moving everything to the secondary data center. How strong they have their data centers now. That is the point here. Okay, and that is the reason they charge heavily to the customers, because to maintain this data center is not an easy job. Okay, any doubt, any question till this point?
I have a question, Atul.
Yes,
but is this the last slide on the this infrastructure view?
we have a backup, and yes, almost done at the end of this one.
Okay, fine. So basically what I wanted to understand is when we are building an instance for the customer ServiceNow instance,
right?
Is there a need for a server on the customer side, or how does it connect?
Okay. If you want to do the discovery, or you want to do some kind of integration from the customer side, then you need a one server from the customer where you can install their mid server. That is basically used for the integration perspective. So one server should be there where you can go and install the mid server application. It is a very small Java based application.
Right.
And in that case, ServiceNow will interact with the mid server, and from the mid server, the request will go to the customer infrastructure part basically. That we will cover at the end of the course, approximately after 20-25 days, when we go for the integration part.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Let me add a file here. Okay. Let me see. Because this is the one shortest one, but you will get details in that particular one. Sustainability. Or I'll check and send it to you guys. Okay, I'll check it, guys. I'll send you on the WhatsApp. Okay. But that slides or that document will be covering the complete details of this structure only, which we discussed today. Mainly starting from the architecture till the backup part. Okay, let's do the backup as well, then we'll close it for day. Okay, now the question comes, the backup and the recovery. This question has been asked mainly by the banking customers, specifically for the banking or the insurance or the financial customers, because they want their data should be backup on the regular basis. Again, from the consulting, you can add this point in the RFP, irrespective of the other tools part. Okay, so what this is basically that backup has been done, differential backup has been done every 24 hours. Okay, or the full backup done every 7 days, which can be retained by the 20 to 28 days. They're doing means every 7 days they are doing the complete backup, and directly on the disk they retain for the 28 days. But everyday backup means yesterday backup has been done, today backup will after 24 hours only. And the plus point, they are doing the backup on the both, in the both data center. It is not like a primary data center. In the both data centers they are doing the backup, primary, and then from primary to secondary they are doing the data center backup. So again, this question also asked in the consulting when I go for the customer interaction, that what is the backup plan for you? Can you make a change in this? I'm not sure that can we make a change in this, because this is again depend on the ServiceNow sales team. Discussions can be happen, alternatives can be given, but again, discussion can be between the two teams only. Okay, now let me stop the recording here.